Hey, hey, hey. Hey, okay. Out to the paper, the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it. Okay, out to the paper, the grass is always greener. I don't do no labels, I call it how I see it.
Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of No Label, the podcast. Here, my boy Nell.
Yo.
Special shout outs to everybody that's been subscribing on YouTube as normal, liking on Instagram, sharing, liking, commenting, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all of that. We appreciate y'all as normal. Go over there, head over to nolabelthepod.com.
For sure.
Nell, what up with the newsletter, man?
A newsletter, another one back at it, you know what I'm saying? Tap in with us, please. It'll help us know who's really here with us and who's here for, you know what I mean, just to say hi and hate.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Tap into the newsletter. We appreciate each and every one of y'all. More offers and more exclusives coming soon. Today, we're sitting here with a good brother who's also in the media field in Buffalo. And
Yes,
in terms of consistency, you know what I'm saying, it's us, it's Sneak Vibing, and then his brother right here. And he has such a diverse conversations with different types of people. It's super needed because Buffalo is one of those places where everybody comes together, and it's only right that we sit down with this man right here, a man to eat, sip, chat.
Yes, sir.
How you
That's
doing,
me.
brother?
Appreciate it, bro. I'm doing good. How y'all boys doing?
Doing
man.
good.
Appreciate you for pulling up.
Yeah, I mean, bro, just working, like you said, man. Like just keeping the community together. You know, like just bringing everybody together, just staying diverse as much as I can, and the consistency is key. Like you already mentioned, you know, I see you guys every time, on it. I see Sneak Vibing, and shout out to her. Like
Shout out Chandra.
she's doing an amazing job. And actually, I was having a conversation with her last time I met her at this one event. And we actually talked about coming together again, you know, as a community, you know, and I feel like it's very important.
Absolutely, bro.
We Sneak Vibe episode out now. So definitely go ahead and check that out.
Please do. That was a great conversation too. I'm like,
We knew it would be.
yeah,
That was part 2.
absolutely. Yeah, we just did fresh off the Trimania, seeing her do her thing live, and then come in here and talk about it. It kind of like, I'm not to toot our own horn, but yeah, I'm saying like us three, like bro, we setting the standard. You know what I'm saying, in the town, and it's just like I love the fact that we can all come together and collaborate and like push each other. Because it's super needed. Like, we was having some combos before you pulled up, just about how Buffalo's market is very different than other places. And it's just like, it's important for us to like, we have to hold each other accountable. And other cities are doing bigger, better things. They got more resources, they got more space. We have to collaborate. And that's the only way for us to really thrive and push through.
Yes, sir. I think resources is there. I just feel like I had one of my guests, her name is Dr. RJ Jackson. She goes by the name The Courage Giver. And she talked about just, there's resources, but we're just not connected. You know, like we just not together. Like a lot of people, usually, if you see in other communities, they're very connected, and that's what, you know, builds a bigger community.
For sure.
But if we're not connected, how can we elevate or evolve or become something bigger?
Absolutely. And a big part of like forming that connections is knowing where everybody comes from.
Yes,
you know what I'm
sir.
saying? And from there, we can bridge it together. Like, we have more things in common than we have that's not alike. But just to start from your journey, so everybody can be more connected to you. Were you born in Buffalo?
No, I'm Congolese. Straight from the motherland. Yeah,
Shout out to the Congo.
You went to Ghana, so you know how Africa is. But yeah, bro, I came to Buffalo in 2010, so I've been here for a while. So like, I know Buffalo so much, it became part of me, you know. And I came here with my whole family. Went to school here. Crazy thing, I went to Hutch Tech.
Fire.
See, we got the Tectonians in there.
Alumni. Yeah.
Yes, sir. And then from Hutch Tech, went to Canisius University, graduated from there in 2022. So, and just trying to live my dream and just make something out of myself, you know.
Absolutely.
What age? How old were you when you moved to Buffalo?
I came to Buffalo when I was like 11.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like I was like 11. So I was still like a young boy. You know? And the Buffalo kind of taught me a lot, bro. Like I barely knew English. I only knew like, hey, how are you? You know, the basics, bro. Because we used to have some white people come to Congo. And I mean, because from Congo I moved to Rwanda, so we used to have some white people come to the like the refugee camp where people have to stay in order to come to America. And they would just teach us some basic English, like, hey, how are you? My name is this. So when I came here, the funny thing is, I thought I knew English, bro. And there was this kid named Javel. We went to same middle school. And he was in the bus. I knew him like first day of school, and then I looked in the bus. I'm like, yo, Javel. I was like, I don't know. And I sat down, bro, like. And then my sister looked at me like, what did you just say? I said, I don't know.
That's real.
Yeah, that's not English, bro. That's some other. Yeah, bro. Yes, sir. That's the story of my life, man.
Hell yeah.
What was that thing that connected you with other people, though? Because, you know, like, there's normally, if there's a language barrier, there's something that connects you with other people, like when you're a younger kid that helps you make friends. So what was that for you at 11 when you first came here?
I can say, bro, sports, because, like, I've always been very athletic, like, just been playing sports since I was, like, a youngin', like, so when I came here, a lot of the kids that I met in school, they were also refugees. A lot of them they were refugees. A lot of them were in, like, ESL class, you know, English as a second language.
Yeah.
So, like, when we go to gym, the only thing that kind of kept us connected, even though some kids don't speak English as much as I speak English or as much as somebody else speaks English, we just play soccer and understand ourselves, like each other through the game of soccer. And also just teachers in general, because a lot of the teachers that we had, some of them were foreign. Like I had a teacher from Poland, you know, and he understood culture. He understood like diversity. So he kind of brought us together too. So that kind of kept us connected.
Yeah, no, that's key. Having a good teacher that understands
the
dynamic. Yeah. So like my everyday job, I'm a teacher. So it's like I try to make sure. I first got to Maritime, and there's a large Hispanic community, and it's like I haven't been around that many Hispanics since like high school. So I'm like, yo, how do I make sure y'all feel a part of everything? And it was like it was definitely like the first little learning curve in the beginning, but it was super dope. It was super dope making sure everybody feels a part of what's going on and what's happening, for sure. How when you got here when you were 11, how was America different than how you kind of like thought about it in your head?
Bro, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I used to look at magazines and look at movies and stuff like that, and America looks so beautiful, bro. Like before coming to America, so the crazy thing is my father was like in the city just working because he had like his plumbing business, so he had to send me, my mom, and my siblings to go live in a camp so we can be registered as refugees because Rwanda is not our home country. So in order for the family to come, and then every time we like mention, oh, we're going to America, we had like these magazines that we look at, and I always tell my sister, this is gonna be my house. And we're looking at like at different houses, I'm like, this is gonna be my room. So the houses that we're seeing, they're in the suburbs. You know, like we didn't really see the city, like the urban, like, you know, like everything that we're seeing in magazine, movies, suburbs.
It wasn't
I'm like, oh,
magazine,
shoot, it's going to be amazing. I'm like, yo, we're going to live in this neighborhood. We're going to be riding our bikes here. So then when we came here, bro, I was disappointed, bro. I looked at the house they put us in. I'm like, damn. I'm like, man, I see. They lied to us. I'm like, it's like, you know how like they tell you they're going to give you something and then once you get there and it's not what they promised you? Yeah, so that was just the life, bro. But Yeah, that's how I saw America. I was just shocked. It was just like a culture shock, you know.
For sure. That's funny because it's like my homie, when I was in Ghana, I was with my homie Kofi, and he's just talking about America. He's like, yo, I can't believe it. Like he wants to go there.
Right.
And I'm like, yo, there's a lot of Americans that want to come here, dog. Like it's a lot of Americans that want to come here because they're tired of it. It's just like it's a dream, it's an image that they sell to you that's not necessarily always like achievable immediately. You know what I'm saying? And that's always been an interesting dynamic that I've seen with Americans and Africans, and it's just like it's always that like the land of opportunity. You get sold that vision.
But it is the land of opportunities, bro.
Absolutely.
Because a lot of my cousins came here to study. They got their degrees and everything, so they can literally just go back and work. Mm-hmm. But like, if you have a degree in my country and you come to America, they have you go back to school. But if you have an American degree and you go back to my country, you can literally get a job. So America kind of gives you so much that you can take other places, you know. But I feel like you just have to go for it. Mm-hmm. You know, there's so much opportunities, and that's why like when we do come here as African kids, our parents really want us to not take anything for granted.
Absolutely.
You know, the ones that do take things for granted, they get some parents disown them. Mm. You know, they're like, you're not my son no more. You have disappointed me. You have embarrassed me in the community. Because African parents, they're always about the community. Like, they want to impress the community with their kids. So they use their kids to impress. Mm.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've definitely seen it. And what made one thing I thought about when the first time I went to Africa was in 2019, right before COVID, and we flew to Cape Town, and boom, you land. I get in the taxi, and from the taxi, we're driving off from the airport. We see like shacks, and it's just like that's the first thing that hit me, and I'm like, damn, like it's people who live like right across from the airport. You have to see people come and go, and it's like you're stuck in this spot. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yo, I was like, the different levels, like we started from the bottom, and it's just like, yo, fam, like it's a different bottom. Like there's another bottom, bro. It's like people who would be super happy to live in those projects, bro. Like
bro. Like people would kill to be here. Mm-hmm. No matter what, bro. People
literally
would kill to be here.
Like literally. You know what I'm saying? Nah, it's an interesting dynamic, and like we talk about like white privilege and stuff like that. It's just like, yo, fam, there's an American privilege. You know what I'm saying? You get to live in a spot where you get to be educated. You get to have running water, food, all those
little kid
things.
making $1,000 in 2 weeks.
What?
That's a lot of money back home, bro. Like,
for real.
Like you as a teacher, if you was back home, you'd be making at least $300 a month. Mm-hmm. You know, and that's a lot of money. You know, for a teacher, you know, it feeds the family, but like as we talking about just opportunities, bro. Like just.
Oh, you're saying back home $300 a month is a lot of money?
Sir.
Okay.
Oh yeah, it's a lot. I mean, he was there. Bro.
Yeah, that's real shit.
Yeah, bro. That's it, man. Like opportunity, just the funds here, like a dollar value. If you take it back, you come here, you work. That's why a lot of people do come here. When they reach a certain age, they go back.
Facts. Yeah. Facts. What did you study at Canisius?
I did communication studies, where my concentration was more in like advertisement and public relations, and I also did DMA, so digital media arts and women and gender studies. Okay. Yeah, so that one was kind of like I took so many classes, bro.
Yeah, it's how like
it. So that one they just gave it to me. They said, just take it.
Absolutely.
And I remember we talked about it a little bit when we came onto your podcast. So how did you get into doing photography? That's something you said you inherited, kind of?
Yeah. So photography, my father, like the crazy thing, my father, when he was growing up back home, he used to have his own camera. So like he would take us pictures, and they kind of got moved on to my brother. So when we came here, my brother started doing like pictures for the community, and he evolved. He started doing like weddings, and he will always bring me along. So like I'm right there with him, just watching him do his thing, and I kind of started picking up the camera. He would tell me, Glory, go take some pictures here, or go cover that angle. I want to make sure that I get that angle too. So I kind of learned from like my dad, my brother, and then my cousin also. He has his own business, Dynasty Studios, and everything just kind of got passed on to me, and now we're all just working together, making things happen. So, and I enjoy doing it.
Nah, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. How many siblings you got?
Damn, let me count. Nah, I got 8 siblings.
Nice.
I mean, including myself.
Yeah.
Why? Yeah. 7 siblings, including myself, so 8 kids. So a family of 10, including my parents. Yeah, so big family, bro.
Nah, that's a beautiful thing, bro.
Yeah.
As I get older, I'm like realizing how much like wealth is in like having a big family, and it's just like yeah, things may be like be a little bit stretched out, resources and space, but like the network that y'all have together and all that stuff. It's like I work with a dude.
How many siblings do you have? You got a good amount, right?
I got 1 sister, 2 brothers.
Oh, really? I thought you had more.
Yeah.
Nah, you don't got no siblings, right? Damn, bro.
Me, myself, and I.
Damn. Yeah, we your brothers, though. Don't worry.
Of course.
Absolutely. And homie I work with at the school, he got like, I think he said he had, I don't want to say he had 100.
Nah.
But like
100 that he knew?
No. 30, he knew 30. He knew about 30.
That's still a lot to know.
But fam, I was just like throughout like 5 different cities, like, and I'm just like,
Damn.
I'm like, yo, that's crazy.
So
But that
Father
is
has
beneficial
multiple-
though. If they
Yo.
spread out like that, 5 different cities, you got 5 different places to go, 5 different places to network.
Fam,
That ass though.
you know what I'm saying? Like it's
But
different.
everybody gonna know that your dad is a hoe.
Ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm trying to push whatever I'm pushing.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, fam, like, yeah, he was wilding for sure.
Yeah, bro, like-
He was wilding, but yeah, we could figure some shit out together. You know what I'm saying? We all can agree that he was wilding.
But imagine as a photographer, you have siblings in 5 different cities that you know that you can go to. You can make money in 5 different cities,
Yeah,
have
bro.
5 different networks and connections. That's beneficial like a mother.
Bro, you could finesse clients. Hey, I need money for the hotel. I need money for the car.
Yeah, that's a fact.
My
Put it all
sister
in the
was-
budget.
Where's the good hotel? You feel me?
all
Like,
in the
where's the
budget.
good spot to say, like, yo, somebody knows.
Yeah, bro.
That's a fact.
Somebody knows, bro.
That's it. That's definitely.
Oh yeah. So coming out of Canisius, did you know you were gonna take like photography seriously and videography and all that?
I think, yeah, bro, because I also like did digital media arts. I did DMA. So like we was more into like camera work, Photoshop. I did some games at the ESPN Plus for colleges. So I kind of always love images. And I always like to be behind the camera a lot of times. Sometimes people be like, yo, be in front of the camera. I'm like, nah, I just want to be behind the camera. I just want to see how it looks after. Like I just like the beauty of it. And then after college, bro, I was like, man, like I need to take this serious, And throughout college too, I kind of invested some little money that I had as a student and just bought a camera, and that kind of really helped me along the way. My brother gave me some cameras. And I'm like, man, like this thing is not free. It's not cheap. Let me take it serious. Yeah.
No, that and it goes a long way because like cameras get you in everywhere.
Everywhere, bro. Everywhere, bro.
Absolutely. So you had the digital marketing experience. When did it shift into like, okay, you kind of want to? I look at what you do as like storytelling, in a sense. When did you get to like you wanted to start telling stories through like a podcast and capturing that?
So I mentioned I did communications, right? So like throughout like my oral communication class and some mass communication and all of that. So like we had this project that we had to do. We had to find like some old folks to speak to and question them and ask them questions about certain things, their life and so on. And I kind of fell in love with that because I've always been a kid that was so curious. Like I always want to know, like, how did this happen? What did you do? Like, and those are the kind of questions I do ask on my podcast. So from there, it kind of evolved into me having that podcast and say, you know what? I just want to hear everybody's background and stories, and I want them to be honest with me. So, like, I like to tell some of my guests, like, when you do come on my podcast, just be authentic. Like just sit down like we're on a coffee shop and have a conversation. Because I'm gonna ask you questions. I'm gonna get to know you. I'm gonna pick your brain out, you know. And that kind of like I said, it kind of evolved into that. And as time went by, you know, I started falling in love with it. That's when I told you, like, it would be so hard for me to leave it. I don't care how much numbers come in, but it's the passion, bro. It's the passion that counts.
Yeah, no, that if you don't have a passion for it, it's like you won't last. You won't last, man. It's like you have to really want to get a vision out.
Yeah.
And that's like thankfully we align with some people with no labels. We all have a passion for something that can attribute to our goal. And I think we always say that. We always mention that when people ask about like team building and stuff like that. Like that's typically like the first thing we say. Yeah, and that's key.
And you do it by yourself, right?
By myself, bro.
So how long have you been doing it for?
For like 2.5 years now. Like
So have you
since 2021. That's 2 years, that's 3.
2021?
2021, that's
damn near 4.
Yeah,
Depending on when you started.
Yeah. Like I started in like September 2020.
So like 3.5.
Yeah, that's crazy though.
Yeah,
Damn.
time, bro.
Yeah,
time
time
flies.
is flying.
That's what
I
I,
didn't
said,
even know
bro,
about
when
it.
I was thinking about like us, like
Yeah,
2019.
Have you tried to add any team members? And
I
it
have
just didn't
tried.
work out, or you're not in the stage to where you feel like trusting anybody with your product?
No, I have tried. I mean, my brother is part of my team, but he's always busy when I have the guests coming in. So, and I'm like, bro, don't worry, I got it, you know. So, because I'm so used to it, and I've always been doing it for a very long time. So it became like just like easy. Like I know what to expect. I know what to do. I know like how I want to edit my videos and so on. I did try to add a team member. I did try to add a team member. I had a girl, I don't know if you guys are familiar with her or y'all seen her before. Her name is Alexandria. Shout out to her, you know, she's like my little sister. I did try to add her, but, you know, her schedule was just so different. You know, her schedule was so different. It kind of felt like it was putting too much weight on me. And I was just honest with you. I'm like, Alexandria, I know your schedule is different. If you can't do it, just be honest with me. We can always do it in the future. So she you know, she said her schedule is difficult. So then I was like, man, you know what? Like you said, I just feel comfortable doing it by myself. But then I realized this year actually it's time to actually build a team. But I want to build a team with like trustworthy people. And people who are like, I see you guys are self-driven and you guys y'all push each other every day. So I want to build a team where I have people that we all gonna push each other and we know what exactly we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Do you know which area specifically you would want to add people to enhance it?
I think more in production, because this year also I invested my money in like a lot of different equipments. So like I want to increase like my production, make it more like a TV vibe, you know. And so I need people for that case, you know. I need people like on the computer. I need people on like a mixer. Like I need people on the camera switcher, you know, and stuff like that. And I also want to bring maybe like a co-host, you know, because sometimes it's always important to hear other questions. Not just me posing questions. Maybe somebody else may have a different question that they always wanted to ask.
A different perspective.
Different perspective, yeah. And it kind of makes it more fun, you know, because sometimes people get tired of listening to just one person.
Yeah.
But you got to just spice things up.
Absolutely. And that's one thing like I kind of admire with like a Joe Rogan, like the top podcasting space. I don't know how he does it. 3-4 hours dolo talking. And it's just like, yo, fam, like I don't see how you do it. Like you gotta be he be in there drinking coffee, just just chatting. But how did you come up with the name eSip Chat?
It's crazy, bro. Like I always like, so it was me and one of my friends. We wanted to start a podcast, and me, I'm a person that when I say something, I'm gonna do it. Like I don't need to second guess myself. So we had a conversation like, yo, this week bring this much. I'm gonna bring this much. We're gonna buy the mics. I have the cameras, and we're gonna start. So homie when the week came, homie kind of like had a little pushback, like, yo, bro, you know, do you think it's good? I said, you know what, bro, don't worry about it. I went straight into like on Google, bro, and I purchased some equipment. I'm like, damn, but I don't have a podcast name. I'm like, okay, let me start writing these things down. So I started writing, talk your shit. This is it. Like, let's chat. And I'm writing a lot of different names, and I just wrote Eat, Sip, Chat. And then I went to Google, and I started searching. And I'm seeing which one pops up. So those other ones were popping up more. And I typed in Eat, Sip, Chat, and it didn't pop up. You know, nobody had the name. And I was like, okay, if somebody asked me, what does this mean? What would I say? Because a lot of times people would think, oh, you're just coming to eat, sip, and talk. You know, I was like, no, I have to bring up like a meaningful definition to this name. So then eat, I was like, eat will be more like food of thought. Like just,
Food for thought.
yeah, when we're speaking, we're feeding each other either wisdom, knowledge, and just having a conversation. I was like, sip will be more just hydrating our soul. Like, let's hydrate our soul. Let's be free from everything. Let's be authentic, you know? And then I was like, chat, is speak your mind. I was like, that's it.
Yeah,
you know?
tough.
And I was like, that's it. I'm like, this is the name. And I started off bringing food on my podcast. And I'm like, damn, man, I'm spending too much money. Hell no. People used to be so happy, bro. Like, they eating on. I'm looking at them like, nah. like, nah, I don't want you to be this happy on my podcast.
Nah, I get that.
Yeah, bro. I was messing up. I was spending money for no reason, bro. Till I came up with that name, I'm like, okay, that's...
It's a fire name.
Nah, have you ever explained the meaning behind the name before?
Yeah, I have to people that ask me, you know, but like I haven't really like explained it like on my podcast. And I do have like a shirt that actually has the meaning behind it that I designed. So
Nah, that's tough. Yeah. Nah, that's how you do it. You said like you wanted to incorporate that food for thought, that knowledge. Was that like something that was like implemented in your house? Like your family like pushed that?
Yeah, bro. My father has always been like, he's the type of father that sits everybody down if nothing is going well. I mean, if something is not going well, or if he has something to say, he always sits us down, just implements so much into us, like wisdom. And that I think that's just a typical African father. You know, they always have to sit down their kids at some point and talk to them. And a lot of time when he do speak to us, it's like we have to take things in, especially because a lot of times within our African community, like I already told you guys earlier, is you have, everything you do is basically kind of reflect on your parents, you know, because African people, one thing, they gossip. So like you do something, they're gonna gossip. So listen to your parents. So when my father, he's telling us this and that, so that's the food for thought. So like I'm listening to him and I'm understanding exactly what he's saying. So when I go out there, I make sure I don't do anything wrong to upset him or my mother. I still be myself, but I just have to remember what he have taught us.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With that being said, like, did you feel like it was important to like include that diversity in your podcast? Because like you're talking to so many different walks of life, and it's like there's knowledge from this person, that person who had completely different backgrounds. Is like was that something you thought up like when you first started, or did it kind of like evolve into that?
I think it evolved, bro. Because before, when I first started, I started just like every other podcast that starts and give up. I started as I was looking for like viral moments. Like I was just so focused on like, dang, if I say this, I'm gonna go viral. If I bring these people, we gonna go viral, you know? And a lot of people will come to me and say, yo, bro, when I'm gonna be on a podcast, bro, I'm trying to talk my shit, you know? And I'm like, yeah. You know, and they will come to the podcast. Every time we have a conversation, bro, it's always so toxic. Like, it will always like, after I'm done shooting, I look at myself, I'm like, nah, that's not glory. Like, because everybody that I know, like, even playing soccer, academy, teachers, they've always knew me as a very stand-up person. And I like to carry myself a certain way. Like when people meet me, they know, okay, I can't disrespect this guy because the way he carries himself. So like every time I'll bring those people, I felt like, man, I don't really like the vibe of this. Like, and I went ahead. I actually blocked a lot of those videos. I went and I blocked a lot of those videos. I'm like, how can I make my podcast stand out? How can I bring some of the most important people in our city of Buffalo to come on my podcast? It's about image, I was like, you know what? Let me start bringing people and let's talk about community. Let's talk about life stories. Let's talk about things that needs to be changed. Let's talk about injustices and all of that. Just a lot of things that important people may want to sit down and talk about. So it kind of shifted it, and I was so more comfortable talking to people that have businesses, people that can actually teach you something, rather than people that's bringing toxicity in our community.
For sure.
And it really helped me, bro. It really shaped my mind too, because when I was talking to those toxic people, I felt like I was becoming toxic. But as soon as I started talking to people that know something, people who are positive, I started actually feeling, different. And plus, it started opening up doors. So I'm like, man, you know what? I'm going to stick to this. So, yeah, man.
Podcasting is a great networking tool.
It's a great networking tool. Because everybody likes to talk. And everybody
likes to talk about themselves.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you just gotta hope they got something worthwhile. You know what I'm saying? They're doing things, and that's one thing that a lot of people who want to be guests on the podcast, they don't really catch. It's like, yo, what? Well, yeah, I know you want to talk and talk your shit, but what are you doing right now, other than besides just going to work and coming home? You know what I'm saying? Do you got a project coming out? Are you working on this thing that you need community influence, or you need people to know about this in order for this product you're doing to flourish and stuff like that? So we always try to do our best with just like aligning with the people with what they're doing, so we can both benefit each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've been honest with people, bro. Some people I tell them like you just said, you're just a person that goes to work and go back home. What are you doing in the community? So sometimes I'll tell people no, like I want people like this on my podcast. I'm sorry, but I don't think people will really care to listen to you.
Yeah.
What's their response when you say that?
I don't say it like that.
No.
I say it in the most sleaziest way, because people can be very sensitive, so I have to watch what I say to certain people.
Yeah. And that's one of my biggest gripes with artists, like rappers in particular. It's just like, yo, fam, you literally just rap on the mic. Like, how are you helping the people around you? It'd be hustlers, it'd be scammers or whatever, but it's like you got all this money, but the lady that live next to you don't got groceries and she's sick. Are you helping? Are you willing to help them? And it's just like, but you want everybody else to come and celebrate you, but it's like, yo, fam, you won't even help the people that's in your immediate circle. Like that I'll always overlook that rapper to go talk to somebody else who actually cares enough about the things around them to make things better. Our world is crazy. It's a crazy place. You gotta uplift the people around you.
I don't think you can blame them too, bro.
You think so?
Yeah, I feel like it's also our communities. Like, we embrace certain things that we shouldn't be embracing, and we give it so much attention that we forget that there's actually good in this world. We deal with that every time. Let's talk about podcasts. We talk about positivity. We talk about all great things. You bring people, talk about life stories and all that. But when it comes to podcasting, a lot of people here would rather share people fighting, people talking crazy drama back and forth, than share something that's gonna teach their kids how to be a better person. So it's also us, we don't promote good stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely about who you are. You talked about your morals and values, how you were brought up. Same with us. It's that's something that we portray on both of our platforms when we're speaking. other people don't necessarily have that same upbringing or same knowledge, so we want more from them, but we can't really expect that from them.
Yeah.
So that's why we have to set the example.
Yeah, and I feel like
And I'm more so speaking of media and podcasting, not what you're speaking of, really.
in the community sense. I feel like that's more of a reason for you to do that. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
nobody was there to help me to put positive words into me or help me get better, to help me get to this point. Be that person you wanted to in your community. You know what I'm saying? That's how everybody lifts up. That's how you get 2 or 3 more of you. That's how you make that legacy. And it's like we've had great.
Even though nobody showed you or taught you, there's something that you've seen or learned within your environment or within the information you intook that made you into that and wanting to seek more knowledge and wanting to become that person.
True.
They haven't necessarily been in those environments to where they can gain that, or they don't have those genetics to where they can gain that and see that and pick that.
I feel you. I
ain't making excuses for them. I'm playing God's advocate.
I can't make excuses for it because it's like there's people who've been through so much pain, and you can respond 2 ways. You could cause pain to other people, or you could be like, I'm going to make sure other people feel good.
But you mature though, so you understand that.
I see it in kids. I teach. So
You see,
I teach.
That's the teacher's
So
I like that.
I'm peeping it. I
sir.
see. I've had students who've had terrible home situations.
Yeah.
And they're like menaces. They're assholes. They steal. They lie. They do whatever. And then I've seen kids with terrible home experiences, but they choose to like, you know what? I'm going to help this other kid because nobody was there to help me.
Right.
It's just like it's a different like perspective on the same situation.
But it's something else, bro. It's not.
There is something.
Yeah, because it's the same.
but
Because
I think-
we've been with people, or we've come from similar environments as people who are now in jail for however long.
Exactly.
And we were hanging around them every single day. But then at a certain point, we realized, what you're doing, you're going to be in a certain
He's
place.
right too. It's the choice it's the choice you make. It's like those people could have been here too, but they chose to go a different route in life.
But why did they choose that route?
Because I feel like once you get to a level,
I'm telling you, bro, it's a genetic thing, and it's what you're around on a consistent basis.
not only that, bro. I feel like
blame
once you get
genetics.
to a level where you can make your own decision, bro, you on your own. Like nobody
and
forced you
then
to do anything.
What do we determine is that level to where you can make your own decisions? Because for some people, they have to make their own decisions at 11.
I think it come
Do
down
you
to-
really trust an 11-year-old to make their own decisions in life and fend for themselves
I feel
the
like
right way if they have to?
Some are ill with it. Some ain't.
Bro, trust me, I feel like it's the community you grew up in. Like in the African community, an 11-year-old kid can be more mature than a 40-year-old man here. Because it's how also the people that's above you have shown you, like, like what things they've shown you, like the values they've installed in you. Like a lot of times people don't do that for the younger generation. And thankfully, you guys are doing it. Like I saw you guys go to a school and actually teaching kids podcasting and just networking and all the above. And that's what we need, bro. I feel like it's the older people have to always humble themselves and actually show the younger people how to be better in life.
Absolutely. And it's like touching back to what you said. It's like whether it's a genetic, I think it's a consciousness thing, bro. Like it's
It's a genetic.
He said genetic.
No, I'm saying I can play into it.
It can. It's super.
Oh,
It's
yeah,
super
genetic,
can. But
yeah.
some people.
No, I mean, it's like a pie chart. There's
Yeah.
several things that can
That's
play
true,
into
though.
it.
Genetic, right?
I think it's a consciousness thing because it's like some people will come into like you may be the black sheep of your family, and you being the black sheep of your family means you could be the drug dealer, you could be the one who just like went left and did some crazy shit where it's like you from a family of doctors, but you could also get born into a family that's all gang members, you know what I'm saying, and then you the one who decided to go to school. That's a mindset thing. Like I don't want to. There's definitely genetics definitely plays
See,
a part.
bro, I shouldn't have said genetics because now you just staying on the genetics part. Like I didn't say 100
I'm not
other things.
I'm not trying to stay on the genetics
You already
part.
said it,
but
bro.
I'm trying to emphasize.
Get back away.
I'm trying to emphasize on the consciousness part.
Nah, for a fact.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like people say it all the time with kids. Like, oh, that kid is real mature than their age. Like, oh, that's an old soul. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a different type of person.
It's a matter of what I'm telling you, bro. Like you
I
said,
hear
you said you got two kids. One comes from they both come from terrible homes and terrible environments. But that other kid may have had an uncle at some point that may have slid him a book that you don't know about. He may have slid him a book. The kid didn't read the book yet. He might have read the book like a couple months later. And that book right there may have changed his perspective and changed everything. But they both come from terrible environments. But he had that one nugget, that one moment in his life that made him be more conscious and made him be more mature to make those certain decisions.
My only argument.
But that's his point, though. It's about the
But my point is, you don't know. My point is, they come from the same environment, but one had one moment or one thing that changed that the way that they think that helped. It's like if you're playing basketball. We both have the same coach, but I may have a trainer on the side that taught me an ill crossover, and now I'm a better player than everybody else.
I won't even add that extra variable. I'll say one of my favorite movies growing up was Scarface. I remember I watched Scarface when I was like
That's my movie
6
too.
or 7, bro.
When I was young, I thought that was a terrible movie.
I thought that it was a super fire movie. But the one thing I pulled from that movie that like always stuck with me was respect. I was like, this man came from literally nothing, and he gained all of this whatever with respect. There are other people who watch that same movie who was like, yo, he sold dope. I can't wait to sell dope. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact thing, but it's what you pull. It's what you pull from it.
You're right, but we're gonna just talk.
So boom, being from the Congo, when you came here, and did you hear hip hop when you were over there?
Yeah, bro. And I want to correct you. So you have to say being from Congo.
Congo.
Yeah, DRC, because there's two different Congo.
Okay.
There's Congo Brazzaville and there's Congo DRC. Yeah, so like when I was there, so like I was born in Congo but raised in Rwanda.
Okay.
So when I was in Africa, basically, there was like we had a TV and all of that. So like there's hip hop, and a lot of times like the hip hop artists that we listen to the most would be like, you know, because my father and all of them, they had like those CDs of like Tupac, 50 Cent, you know, all those guys. And every time we listen to them, it's like we always pretend like we know the lyrics, you know. So, you know, like 50 Cent, take it to the candy shop. So, like, we always just sing the wrong stuff, bro, the wrong stuff. But, like, hip-hop there is, like, it kind of influenced us in some way, too. Like, you want to wear baggy clothes. Mm-hmm. You know, you want to wear, like, Jordan. You want to wear this, you know. So there was so much impact from hip-hop that we actually kind of, like, took from it.
Word. And that's one thing, like, I always notice when I see people who came from Africa to America, it's like they definitely embrace the hip hop culture, but it always from my experience, like I went to UB, so there are a lot of University of Buffalo didn't allow a lot of black people from America or from the city of Buffalo to come to their school.
Really?
But they had a lot of like from like New York City, like many different like black people, but they just weren't from the city. So when we got there, it was a lot of. I remember, I can't remember. I want to say they were from Ghana, and like these dudes was trying to like they would like talk shit about Black Americans, but it was just like they'd talk shit. Oh, you don't respect the opportunities you got. But it's like they're wearing all J's. They listening to all the hip hop. They like almost like out trying to American me, but like shit on like how we are.
Right.
Did you ever notice that, like from your angle? What was like? Did you ever see that from other people, like Africans that came to America with blacks that were here?
Bro, I was called a African booty scratcher one time, bro.
That's a great.
Yeah, like, I'm serious, bro. Like,
remind me to come back to that.
I'm telling you, bro, it's like, so like there's this stereotype that's put on American kids from like African home is that American kids are bad, they're gangsters, they're this and that. So like growing up in an African household, if you say you have an African American kid that's your friend, your parents all of a sudden they on guard, like, okay, who's their parent? What do they do? You know, and that also came from just the media itself. Mm-hmm. You know, like what the media did was it will always promote African American kids as the villains, like criminals, you know. And African parents do watch news. They watch all of that. So like the moment they see that, oh my God, another one. So like they would tell their kids like, guys, be careful, don't hang out with those kids, don't do that. So probably those guys that you came across grew up in those type of household. But like in my house personally, I grew up in a house where, yes, my parents sometimes would tell us like, be careful, don't hang around kids who are doing drugs, who are fighting, don't hang around kids who carry guns and stuff like that. And you gotta listen to them because at the end of the day, there's good and bad in all cultures. Same thing, they would tell us in our culture as well, don't hang around that kid. That kid is bad in our community. That kid is doing this, you know? And I kind of learned it from my parents because they never really were like too judgy, but they will always tell you in a way that you have to be careful of who you become friends with, you know? And I kind of like understood that, but yes, there were some friends in my community that actually did not like African American people. You know, like they really felt like they were like drama. Like as soon as you hang around them, they're drama. Like they're always fighting. They didn't date no African American girls. Like they would see an African American girl and say, she's ghetto. You know, and things have changed. You know, people are starting to come together.
I'm glad to hear that. Yeah. It was funny. You talked about the African booty scratching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think this is one part that gets missed with like when it comes to like people who came from Africa. It was like let's say it's a class full of all Americans. Whoever the darkest kid in the room, you're the African booty scratcher.
Yes, sir.
And it's like they was calling it like shit. They was calling me that before you got here. And I don't think they was trying to shade you. But it once again, it ties back. We fell victim to that same thing.
Yeah.
It's like anytime that they showed Africans on TV, we only saw like a 10 cents a day help feed this kid, and they don't.
And the little kid is scratching his booty.
Yeah, and they don't show the other side of like how amazing like African culture is, how rich it is, the fashion, the music, everything. And it's like we fell victim to TV and the narrative.
Yeah. I've came across some ignorant girls one time, bro. They like in Africa, like, do you guys have food? And that is because of the media, bro.
Yeah, bro, media is poison, bro.
Showing all these little things, and people really take it. And plus, as young people, because I was still young, as young people, it's like they're easily influenced. You know, like you can literally tell a kid this, and they're gonna believe it until somebody else shows them different.
No, that's super facts, bro. Yeah. It was funny, like me and my homies, like if you were the darkest in the room, like your nickname is gonna be Black, like your nickname is Blackie, like.
But guess what? They love dark skinned niggas now, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? We up now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's the crazy thing. I told you things are changing, bro. Like now it's like they look at dark skinned people as beauty, like melanin. Oh my God, like I love your skin. You know, before it's like sometimes it would be funny, like some of my friends, they will always argue like who was the darkest and who was the lightest. But now the light skinned dude, he be hiding like.
That's real, man.
I think that's just a trend. Like, you know, how trends, everything just comes around.
Yeah,
you think that's just a trend right now, or is it gonna stay that way?
It's a trend.
I think now people, because of a lot of people being so sensitive, it's not gonna change anymore. I feel like everybody will be loved just the way they are. You know, because if you say someone is this type or this color or this size, you're gonna get attacked, bro.
Yeah.
Even if they are.
I think that's even changing too. Like we got.
What you say, bro?
I said even if they are that, like that's exactly what they are. You can't call them that.
It's crazy though. Right?
I hope that changes. I hope
that change, bro.
I was gonna say, what shoot, light skin took a big L in that Drake in the whole Drake situation. Light skin took an L.
Shit, I said I'm brown skin, bro. Like not light skin, I'm brown skin.
They still got Curry though, bro.
For sure.
Still got Curry.
For sure. Oh man. So Are you like what type of music do you listen to the most?
I'm very diverse, bro. I listen to a lot of music. You know, the crazy thing is, I listen to country music too. And some people be like, "Damn, you listen to country?" I'm like, "Yeah, hell
Country's
yeah."
fire.
Africans listen to country, bro.
I don't listen to country.
A lot of Africans listen to country, but like I listen to a lot of music. I listen to Afro beats. I listen to music in my country, some Congolese music and Ndombolo and all these other stuff. So I'm very much into everything. I just love music. But as long as I kind of switch my vibe, because I used to listen to also all types of music, and I would listen to music that promotes like gang violence, drugs, and all of that. So I kind of like switched that because I felt like I told you, I felt like it started becoming part of me. You know, you listen to all those songs that talks negative about women, and all of a sudden you're out there saying ain't shit, you know, and it becomes a problem because now your mind, you're not gonna think about building a healthy relationship with anybody because you're gonna start looking at everybody the same.
Yeah, no, that's a fact.
Yeah.
No, that's a fact.
Yeah, I got a rule. I don't listen to any hip hop before 1 p.m.
Before 1 p.m.
That's
Start the day off with some good R&B, some good soul, maybe a good motivational podcast. Get your day right.
no, that's a fact. Yeah,
But y'all too, y'all said y'all like country. Name 5 country artists.
5,
Because I think y'all capping.
I listen to Scotty McCreer. I listen to Josh Turner. I listen to, Taylor Swift is not like country, but she do
Nah,
country
she pop.
music.
She don't count.
But she did a country album, I think.
Beyonce did a country album. She's country.
Nah, she not country.
I did.
But Taylor Swift is more like,
she could.
Hold on. I ain't gonna say it, but because she's white, she could be considered country. Because she's white, she could be considered country.
hell yeah, bro. She, like, what you want me to say, bro? Like,
Yes, she can blend in quite well.
she could blend in where she wear boots, country boots, everything. But she has a country album, like she, you know. I listen to, what's that group? Bro, you put us on the spot, bro.
I had to, bro.
Oh yeah, you about to say I'm definitely capping.
Yeah, I know.
You gonna know I'm
I
capping.
named 3.
Yeah.
So he gotta help
I
you
got
out.
name one.
I got Morgan.
Don't name Shabuzi.
Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. Okay, you don't even know his real name. Morgan Wallen.
Morgan Wallen. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Him.
Do you know him because of Lil Durk?
Yeah, but I listened to his album after that.
Okay.
That Last Night joint fire. Last night we let the liquor talk. That shit is hard. Don't care what nobody say. Him do Luke Combs is fire.
Oh yeah, that one.
Luke Combs is tough. What's brother name? I'm forgetting his name. Dude with the tattoos on his face. Jelly Roll.
Jelly
He
Roll.
country?
Jelly Roll's country.
Yeah,
Jelly Roll's
yeah,
country.
that guy
stuff.
is nice, bro.
I just
I
heard
named Kevin
what-
Smiley.
Kevin Smiley.
Yeah, he a black dude, young black kid. Actually, he fired.
No, he's tough. Shabuzi is tough. I ain't want to say Shabuzi because he was black, but Shabuzi is tough. What's the other dude? What's his name? Big dude from Texas. He just had this song.
Isn't Taylor Swift from the South?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I was gonna say she's from Nashville, but I don't really know. I was just gonna say that.
Swifties, if you're in the comments, let us know where Taylor Swift is from.
They're about to attack us, bro.
For sure.
I mean, we're
Hey.
the Bills fan too.
hey,
Yeah,
for sure.
I did all right.
it's
Yeah.
life.
Collectively, I got 5, maybe 7.
What's brother name though? The big dude. I'm the biggest, the largest.
Big X the Plug is not country.
He just made a country song that's fire.
Bro, because he made one country song doesn't
It's
mean
tough.
he's country.
I'm just saying it's tough. I've been listening to it.
He's not country. I said name country.
But
artist.
I have a
Y'all
question
did
for
okay,
y'all
though.
boys though.
Go ahead.
Because you asked me about the African community, like how do they look at African Americans? I like to say I like to say Americans because I don't like you guys are Africans, but
We can talk about this.
I don't like when they say African American because then it takes you apart from like where you are and where you know. Because if you was born here, you're American, like,
For sure.
but you still have the African genes and all the above. But like, how do you guys look at African people?
You could go first because I kind of got more.
Yeah, you're gonna have a
Yeah,
long
because
winded answer.
Yeah, you could go.
Me personally, like when y'all were talking about just the difference and how each one views each other, I didn't really experience that until like I got older, and then I learned how African people may view us and us not taking advantage of our opportunities. But as like growing up, we didn't look at African people a certain way. So I can't really answer that like a long-winded answer to really go in detail on it because it wasn't like a difference when I was growing up. It was just a matter of like their skin was darker than yours, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Honestly, for me, it was a bit of like, not in like a hateful way, but like a sense of jealousy, in the sense of it's like you have a connection to a family, like you weren't like disconnected from like your history. You have a great deep roots, and like that was my thing. It was like I was like that was dope. I wanted that. You know what I'm saying? Just like coming up, as I traveled there and like met Africans from South Africa to Ghana, my experience changed in the sense where it's like I realized how much more I realized how much we were the same, but also how much we're different.
Didn't you feel more safer though when you was in Africa, bro? Like you felt more like connected, more like at home.
I can't. I know. Nah. So like when I went to South Africa,
He actually lived out there for a time period.
yeah. So like I was in South Africa about 6 weeks, and I had locks at the time. So it's super hot there. Most people don't have dreadlocks. Everybody thought I was a Rasta. So everybody coming, oh, Rasta man, Rasta man. And I'm like, I'm not from Jamaica.
Like in South Africa, they actually embrace reggae music. You know, like Lucky Dube, Alpha Blondie, and all those guys. You know, like they had like dreadlocks.
Yeah. So they were addressing me. A lot of people thought I was Rasta. So I'm like I like appreciate Rastafari culture, but it's like that's not what I identify as. So it's like okay, and then when I was in Ghana, it was cool, and like once like interacting, seeing the markets and stuff like that. But then like once I started talking and they hear my accent and they kind of like pick up on I'm American, it was like they automatically seen dollar signs. And I was like, like damn, it's over now. So, but it was just like, it was cool. Like it was super cool, and it's like I appreciate them, and I see the similarities. I love how family oriented and like community oriented like Africans are, but it also gave me an appreciation for how unique Americans are, Black Americans. You know what I'm saying? And it made me realize like a lot of times they'd be like, oh. Black Americans, or they'll try to say that we don't have culture, like that kind of gets brought into the conversation. It's like, nah, we have things that we do that are different than y'all, and it's a part of our culture.
I feel like black people have a culture all around the world. You know, I feel like that's why sometimes I really embrace being born as a Black person. Like we have a culture all around the world. Like you can literally go to Africa and you can kind of blend in because it kind of pulls you. You know, you could go to Europe and find a group of Black people and blend in. You know, it's like that. I feel like that culture is genetically like implemented in us. It's like we can blend in every, area of the world, like with Black people.
Yeah, shit, we the original people on the planet.
No, I actually think Black Americans have a culture. You know, because you guys have a hip hop culture, that's big.
Global. Global.
Yeah, we have more of like the African culture because, a lot of us, our parents from like the African villages, so they bring that into the city and they showcase that, and it kind of, goes up to the next generation and so on. So like you guys do have a culture. I feel like we just have to connect in some way.
Absolutely.
Now, Afrobeat and all that has been connecting people. You see those rappers coming together, making music with like Davido and
Burner.
Yeah, and it's changing the game, bro.
Yeah, I love seeing it too, because it's like it opens that door and then we can have these conversations. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, we come together. That's what will help change the world. And it's like one of my favorite quotes is it's like Africa is the throne, but the earth is our home. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you could go anywhere on the planet and find dark-skinned people. It's like, but the crown jewel is Africa, the biggest continent, all of that. You know what I'm saying? And it plays a big part. it plays a big part in just like knowing where you come from and appreciating it. And
most definitely.
Not letting somebody else tell your story. It was just something that like I thought of, and it was super like key. I'll remember. I'll remember in a
I
second.
think another reason why my perspective is a little different is because I went to school on the west side my whole life. So I grew up on the east side, but I went to Waterfront from kindergarten to 8th grade.
Oh, you was with them all. Africans.
Yeah,
though.
Waterfront was a super diverse school.
West Side is
Africans-
like super diverse.
Yeah, Africans, Hispanics, Asians, white, black, similar to Hutch Tech, but even more diverse. So from kindergarten to senior year in high school, I was around them and they were just integrated in my everyday life all the time. So I didn't see, there wasn't that like battle or anything.
That divide.
There wasn't that divide.
Yeah.
Or like when you got older to where you were around them. Like most people is like, they got older and then they're around them, so like you can see the difference or view it differently. Whereas I just grew up in that environment with them. We grew up in the same environments.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. You want to touch with the top 5?
So we got a top 5 segment. Pretty self-explanatory. So when it comes to, you remember? Go ahead.
Oh, but I was gonna say before. Oh, I was saying like us learning from like Africans and like Americans learning from each other and stuff like that. I was gonna touch on the leader from Burkina Faso, Ibrahim Traoré. Yeah, and he's super like pivotal, like in like I think in a global sense of just like yo, this is what you need to do in order to like be self-sustaining and really like bring Africa to its prominence of like it's the wealthiest continent on the planet easily before you even bring up money. You know what I'm saying? And he's showing people how it's done in a super amazing way. Like I think he's been president maybe like 2 years, had 19 assassination attempts. Like they're like there's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying? He's showing everyone, every dark-skinned person, like, yo, this is how you do it to uplift yourself and how we all can come together. He's super encouraging people to, like, come there, get citizenship, other African leaders, like, stand up, get these people off your neck. No, you have enough resources to grow your own food, mine your own gold. You know what I'm saying? Do all of that stuff. And that's what I always want to bring up his name because he's one of those leaders that the world needs right now. And I think a lot of people, America during the Civil Rights Movement, we had a lot of leaders, and people are afraid to do that now. I feel like because out of fear of like being taken out. And he's a perfect example. Like, fam, he's been doing this. He had 19 assassination attempts. He's not slowing down. He does not care. Like, he's going to keep going. And that's the type of African like resilience that the world needs, and that we need to, as Black Americans, we need to take that same energy, that same force, and lead each other.
Yeah, most definitely, bro.
People say they're willing to die for their cause, but are you really? Top 5 though.
Yeah.
So what are when it comes to podcasting, if there's somebody starting a podcast or they're like just getting into it, what are the top 5 things you say they should be prepared for, or they should be prepared for?
I mean, it could be top 5. I feel like number 1 is everything is mental. So number 1 is like, are you sure you want to start a podcast? Number 2 is also still mental. Like, what is your purpose of doing a podcast? Are you doing it because that person is doing it, or because you want to do it? Do you have a purpose? You know? Number 3 is, are you willing to risk? Because starting a podcast, you have to spend money. If you want like a basic podcast, cool. You could record on your phone. Record your sound on your phone and edit it, and that's it. But like, what kind of podcast you want to start? So just writing things down. I think that's number 3. Just write down like, do you have the money and so on. I think number 3 is just knowing like what kind of topic you want to get into. Because when I first started, I didn't really know. I just jumped into the podcast world and just started talking about nonsense.
So what's going to be your niche?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Just your niche. That's it. And number 5 is, damn, like, are you willing? I feel like number 5 is, you already have the equipments, but are you gonna stay consistent? You know, we talked about resilience. It's like, because a lot of people get to a certain point and just give up. But like that number 5 is like don't give up. Like, you sure you've already done number 1, you made up your mind. Number 2, number 3, number 4, you bought the equipments. Now number 5, you just keep going.
Consistency is key.
Yeah, it's just hard to pick the numbers, but like that's just kind of how I break it down.
No, that's valid.
What would you say now?
Number 1, definitely consistency. 2, you said to start a podcast or
Yeah, like what should they be prepared for?
prepare for?
Like when you're going into it, this is what you should expect in order to have a successful podcast to whatever you deem success is.
Yeah. So consistency, and that's the golden rule. Like, you can't go wrong. It's like, no matter what, anything happens, you have to stay consistent. 2, utilize your network. You know somebody who can help you, or in some way, shape, or form. You've met somebody. It could have been you bump shoulders in the street. Like, they may know somebody who can help you, and leverage it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, if it's a good idea what you're doing, it'll feed back. 2 or 3, meaningful content. Have something to say. Yeah, it can, so much things happen in the world, but you should not necessarily have every conversation based off of what's going on, but like inserting yourself into the world versus just reacting to everything. 4, be ready to fail. Be ready to fail. Failure can be your best teacher. And a lot of people are afraid to fail, and like, it's not that you'll never learn anything. You'll never get nowhere. Like, you can have 1,000 failures outweigh the one success, because you wouldn't be able to get that success without them. You know what I'm saying? And 5, trust your vision. You gotta really trust what you created for yourself. You know what I'm saying? And if you cheated yourself, it'll show up. If you go all in and like lay it all on the line, it'll show up. You know what I'm saying? And that's I think that's a key. That's a key part. A lot of people try to half-ass, trying to find the clickbaity stuff, or just losing their authenticity to follow a trend. But trust your vision.
Yes, sir.
I would say, piggybacking off of one of them, you said, what's your purpose for starting a podcast? Like, why do you just want to start it because you want to be heard, because you want to talk in front of a mic, you feel like you're not heard within your friend group, or heard within your family, or heard throughout your life? So it's like, oh, now I have an opportunity to just buy a mic, get some audio, upload it, and now I'm being seen. Like, what's your purpose behind doing it? 2, I would say, know what your structure and foundation is. So make sure if you plan to go somewhere with it, make sure your YouTube is set up properly. Make sure the email is consistent on all platforms that you're using. So that way, when you start to make money and things actually, when it becomes a business, that's not something that you have to worry about and do it retroactively. You're already proactive with it. I would say 3, be prepared to make sacrifices, because you have to sacrifice your time. You have to sacrifice relationships to a degree. You have to sacrifice. You shouldn't sacrifice health, but at points you might have to, because you're not gonna get the sleep you
nights,
want.
bro.
Yeah, you're not gonna get the sleep you want.
Yeah, I've been there, bro. Like, I told you, I don't have no team like that. Like, just editing at night, and I'm like,
Those and all, I'm already knowing.
yeah.
4, I would say you're gonna want to give up at some point. And you gotta just push through if you really want to do it. And that goes back to what's your purpose and why you're doing it.
Discipline over motivation.
So you're gonna want to give up. You're gonna go through every emotion in order to get through it. You're gonna be happy at times, sad, mad, frustrated, whatever it is. If you really want to do it, you're gonna push through. What is that? 3 or 4?
Now you going to 4.
I'm going to 4. Okay. There's gonna be changes. So evolution throughout the podcast. Be prepared for that. Like this is like our 6th season. We've probably had like 5 or 6 different locations we shot at. We've changed the set within this studio alone like 5 times. Added artwork, painted walls, moved shit from over here to over there, moved the couch from here to there. Like there's gonna be evolution in it, and that evolution shows progress to a degree. So don't get discouraged because you have to change things. You're just gonna learn more about the podcast, learn more about your team, learn more about yourself.
Yep, gotta keep growing.
Yes,
And
sir.
then 5th, you're gonna wanna follow what other people are doing at a certain point, because you're gonna want to see they're getting certain views or certain clicks or certain downloads, and you're like, maybe if I do that, I'll get to that point. But what they're doing is for them. What you're doing is for you. So if you have a strong purpose and vision behind what you're doing, then you'll get to the point you want to be if you do all the things that we just named.
For sure.
Stay true to yourself. And I like how you told people, like, you're gonna fail or you're gonna feel like giving up. That's true, bro. Like, cause, man, you got to one point where, like,
You're gonna get discouraged, bro.
you look at the numbers and you're like, damn, man. Like, damn, like, I went hard for this episode. You know, but then when you start focusing on that, you start losing yourself and your purpose.
You miss it. You missed it.
Because that 1, 2, 3, you could have 3 views, but you have changed 3 lives, bro. Like 3 people have watched you, and they felt something, like, you know.
And I gain inspiration from that.
Get inspiration from that. And they see you in person, like, yo, bro, I watched the podcast.
And it's funny because it's like people see it. More people see it than the number that they show. Like, more people see it, bro. Because I feel like, bro,
And more people are aware of it than what the number shows.
yeah, people be telling me like, oh yeah, man, I just see you do anything. I'm like, fam, I had no clue you even had an idea what this is. And like, I want to say very early on, like, bro, they was reaching out. Town Square Media was reaching out, and bro, they're the 3rd biggest media company in the United States. And they were like, yo, what you doing? Guys, you're doing this amazing. Da, 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 da. We want to do this. And I was just like, I had no idea y'all even. And this is before any type of viral anything. Yeah. So it's like, if 3rd biggest media company in the United States is seeing this shit, like, we're doing something right.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? So we have to keep going.
Keep going.
You have to keep going.
And those small wins count too.
For sure.
Those small wins, them shit's gonna push you forward. Like, you may be discouraged, and then you make it at, like, we had an opportunity to teach at South Park. And now the kids are like, oh my God, they appreciate everything we're doing and everything. And that gives you fuel to keep going. When literally the day before you might have been like, yeah, I don't know if this shit is worth it. And then you get in a room full of 30 kids that's like, oh no, I want to do what you're doing because of the way you're executing, the way you explained it, the way you presented it to us, and who you are and who you present yourself to be.
Yeah. It was a kid wearing the merch at the AI conference. Like, this kid was dope. Like, he designing his
own shoe.
Yeah, the kid was designing his own shoe, 3D mock-ups and stuff like that. Like, a senior in high school, like, it's like you at an AI conference rocking our stuff. Like, that, it does something to you. It's like, okay, yeah, like,
and that stuff doesn't show in the numbers that everybody cares about.
I was like, I got stopped in the street a couple times. like I'm walking across and heard them stopping their car. Yo, you the dude from da. I'm like,
yes,
yeah,
sir.
bro, what up?
That means you're doing the right thing, bro.
Absolutely,
you know,
bro.
And the good thing is, like, you when you don't let that kind of influence get to you, like, you know, people gonna come to you and say this and that, but like when you allow that to feel like that's the end of everything, you give up too. You know, like, just people will say this, people will cherish you, but don't stop. What is your purpose? Like,
exactly.
You really, it's a marathon, bro.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's like a
marathon continues.
Bro, you run here, you stop, you drink some water, you run here, you gotta stretch, but the finish line is there, brother. Like, don't stop.
My mom sent me some nip video the other day. Yeah, I was like,
That's that Virgo energy. Shout out to mom,
I'm
dude.
like, yeah, you know what's up? You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So we have another segment called our Third Eye segment. We talk about conspiracy theories like truth, spiritualities, stuff like that. Something I saw in the past like weeks or so was in Kenya. They had it was a church, and the dude was showing like he was saying like how the black version of Christ, and like the Kenyans lost it. You know what I'm saying? Like they started chasing the preacher out of the building. Like they were throwing rocks at him. Like they was trying to like hunt this dude down for saying like that Jesus was black. It was just like
What do you guys think?
of that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I understand him as him being black.
To be honest,
it's in the book. To
Yeah.
me.
No, to be honest, we have to be honest, bro. When I was in Africa, the only Jesus that I saw was white. And I'm asking myself, like, did we all pick this guy? Like, did we pick this picture? Like, the picture is so similar, bro. Like, I'm like, how they know Jesus looks like this? You know, and yeah, it's a crazy debate, bro.
Yeah, it's
Based out of a description in the word, he's not the image that they show.
Absolutely. I think they base him off of like whose cousin was that? Was it? I don't want to say Caesar, but it was just like it was somebody's cousin. It was like Da Vinci's cousin or something like that. They made the silhouette of Jesus based off of it. It's something silly. Like I'm sure somebody in the comments will be able to put it in there. But it's just like it's super important that you see like a savior figure or somebody that's connected to God that looks like you. You know what I'm saying? And that's super important because like if you don't see it that way, you'll always be sitting with your hand out. You'll always have a victim mentality of like, okay, I can't overcome. I can't have this connection without being attached to somebody who looks like this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And that's one thing like I feel like I see it changing. It changed a lot here during like COVID and just like in the most recent years. But it was just like that's one thing I'm hoping that Africa embraces. You know what I'm saying? Seeing themselves as a savior figure to, you know what I'm saying, like improve the continent and just like help everybody.
Yeah.
Were your parents like Christian growing up or like what's your family?
Yeah, bro. I grew up in a Christian family. I grew up in Catholic. Catholics are Christians, but because the way people make things, kind of make it sound like there's all these different types of Christianity relationship. So like, and I grew up in also a family that had some people that converted into Islam.
Okay.
You know, so like my family is just a bunch of different religions, you know.
That's dope.
And it also allows me to see all different walks of life and different religions and how people operate, you know. But as a child that grew up in a Catholic family, so I've just followed my parents' footsteps and learned about it. And I went to a lot of Protestant church, learned about it. I went to the mosque, learned about it.
Dope.
You know, so yeah, bro.
Nah, that's important. And it's like I was seeing like from just like my studies, I heard like how black people, like melanated people across the world, we looked at like religions as kind of like political parties. Like we all understood that God was this thing, but like, okay, you come from over here, y'all call it this name. We over here, we call it this name. Like, and we all were able to work together to a common good versus kind of like how the West looks at it now. And it's just like, it's kind of like I'm right and you're wrong versus thing. I think when everybody kind of understands, it's like, okay, yeah, we all agree that there's a higher power. We all agree that there's somewhere else. There's more. You know what I'm saying? It'll allow us to collaborate more.
I think it's more religion freedom here than...
Oh, for sure.
You know? Because, man, I mean, in the Middle East, if there's the Shia and the Sunni, you know, different types of Muslims, and they fight, you know, which one is better than the other. You know, in my country, there's a civil war going on, and also there's rebels, M23, coming to my country. You know, people are losing their homes, they're running away, you know, from our country, a country that made them. And there was this one church that actually some rebel groups went in there and killed a lot of Christian people. You know, and that was crazy because I think those rebels were either Muslim and so on, but like they killed the Christian people in the church, and it's like, damn, like people can't really even practice their faith peacefully, you know, and the government really doesn't really do as much just because, you know, Congo is huge, you know, and when the rebels do come in, they come to the cities that's closer to like a border, so they can, if there was any, you know, government army coming, they're already out, but they've already done the damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
That I hear that.
yeah, it's insane.
Yeah. I heard like Congo's kind of like at the heart of Africa.
Yeah, it's in the middle. Yeah,
Yeah.
It's in the middle. It's like a middle, but Congo touches all different sides.
Yeah. I've heard nothing but beautiful things about the Congo, and just like in terms of like African spirituality and like different African systems, it's like that's where the real secrets are held. You know what I'm saying? Because of that location, because it touches everything. It has that experience from the Christians, the Muslims, and anybody else.
Yeah.
And it all comes from that source. So you got good soil. You got good soil, my brother.
Good soil, bro. But we gotta do better. We got the world wants it, bro.
Yeah, we need it.
The world wants it. Bro.
The world needs it.
Man, free Congo, man. I always want to say,
Absolutely.
if I come to anybody's podcast, I'm gonna speak on it, bro. Like, my country's going through some crazy stuff, bro. But the crazy thing is that I bet so many people don't know about it.
Yeah,
It's not really showed on the media.
Yeah.
You know, I was actually, shout out, you know, free Palestine and all that.
Free
But,
Gaza.
But one thing that I kind of dislike is that humans are not really together as much, you know, because when people in Palestine are going through something, all you see is people just promoting that side. Like, we should be promoting everybody that's going through something. I think that's gonna bring the world even together. I have a couple friends, some Muslim friends that never spoke about Congo, you know, but shout out to you guys. But like, I want you guys to speak about all nations. Don't just focus on one nation because everybody else is suffering.
Absolutely. Like Martin Luther King, one of my favorite quotes from him is injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere.
Everywhere, amen.
Yeah, so it's like we have to take up that struggle. You know what I'm saying? And I always want to like push the line in terms of like with us having a voice and having a media platform, but I try to be careful because I if I say my real views, it's like I can't. But
Seeing where that got us in the past.
you know what I'm saying? Shadow banned like a mug. Yeah. But it's that's super important, man. And I'm gonna make sure I do my due diligence and make sure that I support not just like Palestine and Gaza, but doing my research to make sure I talk about everything that's happening on the continent. That's why I try to
Sudan too, free Sudan
for sure.
You know, free. There's a lot of people suffering, bro. There's a lot of people. There's people suffering even in some parts of Nigeria. You know, young women getting kidnapped by some rebel groups, and it's a lot of things going on. But one thing I say is they don't really show Africa as much. You know, and that's a problem.
Yeah, you gotta show everything. Gotta show the good and the bad.
The good and the bad.
For sure. Just because we typically focus on music, what's the music you listening to right now? Like,
damn, right now, bro, I was just jamming Nokia, bro.
Who's calling my phone? that song is hot. I don't care what.
What? Hold on. We got a Drake co-sign by Nelson.
Yeah,
he's the biggest Kendrick fan in the world.
Really?
I'm not the biggest Kendrick fan in the world. But
every episode.
But and I love to like give context to it because I've been a fan of him since like 2010, 2011. Like I watched him like when y'all was eating at Chinese food spots and like recording videos, no chains, no nothing. So I watched your whole come up. Like I've been a fan of you since high school. I'm going to support you. Like
Drake is number one, bro. I mean,
no, hey, you got it. You know what I'm saying? Like one of my best friends.
I mean,
is a super
Nokia
Drake.
clearly shows that.
but think about it though.
He got killed in the battle, and now he's number one again. Nobody
Think about it, bro. No,
Did you
not
hear
like
the Nokia
us.
reference track?
Huh?
You heard a Nokia reference track?
Don't care.
I bet.
But listen,
What you
bro,
about to say?
not like us, right? What's going crazy? As soon as Nokia came through, I haven't heard Not Like Us in any club, bro.
Bro, me either.
It's gone.
Bro, I stopped hearing Not Like Us once Party and Drake dropped that album.
It's literally been a year.
Don't matter.
It's literally been a year.
You still hear Controller every time you go in the club, don't you?
Control.
Controller.
Controller.
You still hear One Dance, don't you? All right, then.
Are they battle? Are they rap beef songs?
They're hit records.
Okay.
Not Like Us was a hit record, right?
It was a rap beef song.
It was a hit record. Why?
Because
it was about Drake. All right.
Nah.
You know, a lot of people.
We're not doing this.
A lot of people didn't even listen to the lyrics like that. They went with the beat. Mm-hmm. You know. Now let me stop. Bro.
It's gonna be another hour. We gotta stop.
Nah, I love the Kendrick Drake debate because it's just like it forces you to like kind of like make that differentiation between like, okay, they're not like us, like who we talking about. You know what I'm saying? It creates that that cultural conversation. But at the end of the day, we have to tie it all together.
Amen.
You know what I'm saying? Like what Drake doing with Universal right now. I think he just won that part of the lawsuit where they have to show Kendrick's like contract and all their text messages, emails, and all that stuff. That's a win for everybody.
It said it might be a settlement.
They was talking about a settlement. They were offering them $300 million, so they didn't have to show that. And it's just like, yeah, I'm a super Kendrick fan. Like, bro, don't ever like nobody will ever question that. But Drake,
show that,
huh?
They're gonna show that.
That's what they supposed to do right now. But UMG trying to settle. I don't want Drake to settle. I want to see the full thing. Like, I swear to God, like as a Kendrick fan, I don't care. Like, yo, if you can take down Universal, Drake will get 1,000. I'll never say nothing bad about Drake again. If he takes down Universal in the fuckery that the music industry has been doing for all these years, I'm co-signing Drake. I don't care, bro. I swear to God. You can call me phony, whatever, bro. If you take down Universal, bro, you're ill. I'm like, that's that black side coming out. I'm talking about all of that. I don't care.
He was honest.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
Welcome, bro. Welcome. Of your things, yeah.
We ain't there yet. Almost.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all boys, man. Once again, man.
Nah,
it was
anytime.
a blessing being here.
For sure.
You know, I had an amazing time sitting down and just having a conversation. It was dope.
Of course, bro. Where can everybody find ESIP Chat when you release? What's the Instagram, everything? Instagram,
man, ESIP Chat Podcast. Just go on Google, ESIP Chat Podcast. Go on Instagram, ESIP Chat Podcast. Facebook, you can't find me. Just type my name, Gloire Drogba. That's it, and then you'll find it. But yeah, man, y'all go ahead and subscribe. Don't forget to like, share, and also subscribe to the brothers' channel.
Absolutely.
You know, show everybody love, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, bro. It's a pleasure. It's been a pleasure. You know what I mean?
Pleasure.
Like,
yes, sir.
we gotta do this
appreciate
again.
you, my boy. No Label the Pod. We out.
Peace.